Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello again.
Yep, thanks for joining us again for another evening.
I think we may be at episode 11. Can see a few people popping online, hopefully. Okay, let's give it a few seconds.
Yep.
So this should be episode number 11 and 16th of October 2020. Tony, welcome.
Hello, Tony.
Rob, very good.
Yes.
Everyone attending.
Phil, hello.
Hello again. Very good. So what we have on tonight? We've got a lot tonight.
We've got a bit of everything, haven't we? So we're trying to show a bit of every sort of department.
Absolutely. So most important thing today, 70 days to Christmas.
70 days.
70 days to Christmas. So let's start counting.
Gone?
Absolutely. I just Googled it before.
And
it looks like 70 days. Ian,
well
done, Ian. You're on time. Good. You can get to see the first part of the show. Noel.
Yep.
Very well. Excellent. So, where do we start? Do we start with the quiz? Last week we didn't have a car. We missed the car last week.
Yeah, so that's right.
Today, I think.
Let's introduce the car.
Let's introduce the car. Let me swing it by. Okay. For some could be easy.
Could it be?
Let's see. I put this aside and then we'll start the show and we'll bring it back later. Very good. So we're going to talk about Hearns Workshop once again.
Yes.
So we've got a card as well. So when you receive your purchase from Hearns Workshop, you get a card with some good instructions. So that's Hearns Workshop. So what is Hearns Workshop, Beach?
So Hearns Workshop is the new manufacturing division of Hearns Hobbies. So we're very proud of this particular division. It carries on from the tradition of the original Hearn brothers, who created a lot of different products and were pioneers in their particular fields. And back in the day, it was aircraft, so fuel-powered aircraft to free flight onto control line and then onto radar control. And so we're just moving along and doing some plastic model kit accessories, and then we're going to move on to what we're going to describe a bit later today.
Absolutely. So later on we're going to show you a few of the new products, but later on we're going to show you something that will fit onto this something to do with this. Actually, do you know what this is? Let us know in the comments if you know what this is. See, this is the front part of this. Maybe too easy. Let's see if anyone can guess that. So first thing first, we have developed a few new 1/35 scale little gadgets for diorama, isn't it, Beach?
We have. So we've continued on with accessory to complement something we've already produced. So we had some shells. So that was the first accessory we developed. So that's the 88mm shell that was used by the Germans in World War II. And then we did the 75mm version. And then we had the cases for them, the crates. So it's only very fitting that we've got the crates to suit the 88mm now as well. So they're quite a bit different. So these are for the later 88mm shells that were used in Tiger 2s, and we're going to use on the Panther 2. These are on the Elephant. What else? I don't recall now, but you'll see that these are a bit different from the 75s, because the 75s had twin shells in them, and this one has singles. So you can see how this is designed to fit. Let me just see if I can pop it in there. So just like so. So really nice details. They've got all the wood grain finish on them. We've got the lids here separate, so you can glue them either shut or you can have them open. And these would be great for any diorama. Now this is a sample one. The production ones will actually have little hand hold ropes attached to the ends as well. I was testing for size, and they've come out really well. So that's one addition.
So yes, we've got a 75 and 88 millimeters shells and crate. So full set. So we'll have that available on the website shortly. I think actually maybe will be available already.
Yeah, I think I have them listed already.
And I think the next exciting part are the HO00 scale little figures, and
Yes.
that's quite exciting. So someone was asking last week, and we were halfway through the preparation. So we have figures, got little animals, which I don't think I took any with me today. But we also have a wheelie bin.
So I've been working on some of these. So got the traditional wheelie bin that you'll see quite often in the neighbourhood, and we've also been working on these benches. So these benches you'll find in a park or on a train station. And just to give you a better idea of what they're going to be like, to go with figures, so I've got this one here. Let's see, maybe the light's a bit better there. So this lady here checking through a handbag. It's on this little bench that I quickly painted up. So they've come out really, really nicely. So the poses are really quite natural and interesting. And I'll show you the wheelie bin here. The wheelie bin turned out really well too. So just being nice and green. We've got the recycling bin, classic yellow top, green base. And you just see how tiny the things are. They look great. So a bit hard to visualize when they've got all these support structures around them. But once you clean it all up, it turns out to be one of these. So let's see if I can do that. All right. You want to stand by them? Yeah, there you go. So really cute. We've got that. And we've got that.
I'll be higher a bit. Here we go. That's it.
So this is just a start of the collection. So if you get the HO figure set, it's going to have 8 figures in it, which includes most of our popular individual figures already, with a couple of extras. And then the bins, we've got those in, we're going to have those in HO 87 scale, but I'm sure we can make those in different scales as well. So this will great with anything.
Absolutely. Cool. So we have some animals. I think they will be ready next week. Some I think there's a couple of tigers, a couple of cows, orangutan, and a bit of a range of I think some dogs.
Just mix it up with a bit of exotica.
A few different things. Yeah, absolutely. So they'll be really good. So let's see 1 second. So got a bit of a dropping a few frames here, so it should be better now. So quite a few new things coming. So there is a bit of a guessing happening here. The panda, should we do a panda? Well, the panda could go on the list. We do the zoo kit.
We can do.
Absolutely. So
Phil's asking about 72 scale. So yeah, we've got a few 72nd scale things, mainly in the cartridges and the crate so far. But we'll be working on more 72nd scale stuff in the future.
I think we also have the drums and the jerry cans in 72nd from memory. I think we should have a set that has the shells, jerry cans, and a couple of things like that.
Yeah, and we're still working on a really interesting miscellaneous pack of stuff that you can use on different dioramas. So a little bit more modern. It's got some mugs and bottles, sacks of garbage and things like that.
Absolutely. So definitely. So cows, there will be some cows coming as well. Working also on some little figures, some little soldiers like that, as you can see them. A few things like that. It's very tiny, but the detail is quite remarkable. And let me see, this one is probably a bit nicer to see. There we go.
Yep.
So working on a few things like that. So products coming through virtually every day. So I see you guys quite excited about this. So that's a wheel of a Hornet, classic Tamiya Hornet. And this week we've done something pretty cool. Let me find the car. So here's your Hornet. And what we are producing are some wheel adapters for the Hornet, so we can put more modern traditional 12mm hex wheels, but from the rear and for the front one. So the front one will have a double bearing as well. We've done probably the last sample today, and I think tomorrow we'll be producing the final version. But this will enable us to put virtually any kind of wheel. So let me show you, because that could be quite interesting. So I think in one of our weekly daily Hearns, we were talking about the Hornet with the pedal tires, and this is now possible. Here we go. This
Wow.
Hornet with the pedal tires. So this will be very, very exciting. But we can also put something, let me see if I can pull this off. One hand. Yeah, we can also put something a bit chunkier. Let me see. Here we go. So you can see, but that will be quite interesting as well. Something a bit bigger, or something that we use on day to day on racing buggies, like a traditional race wheel.
Yep, low profile.
Low profile, like so. Same goes for the front. The front we can put any kind of wheels. This is one of my buggy wheels. It was straight in. As you can see one end. Here we go. That's your wheel here. So we can do a full race back buggy, as you see, or alternatively, something a bit more exciting to go in the sand or on dirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
And this should fit quite a few different ones. So perhaps the frog bridges should be similar. The grasshopper should be similar. Grasshopper or frog? Neither.
I can't think of it at the moment.
Well, we'll have a few different variations eventually coming for different Tamiya cars as well. So.
Yep.
And so these are the wheel adapters. So a few things for the RC. Let me put this aside, and then we have something for our TRX4s as well, which will be quite interesting. Put this aside. So we have some of these air venting or plates that you can put in your bonnet to give a bit more detail on the car. Let me grab one of the bodies as well.
It's quite amazing how fine the meshes come out on those.
So this will sit on top of the chassis of the bonnet here to give that extra level of detail. Let's see if you can fit it here. So this obviously get painted, and here we go. So you got 3 different versions. One with the mesh like this, is it ultra fine.
Yeah, cool.
One with the holes, like so.
Yep.
And like this.
It's cool too, the little scoops, little louvers.
Scoops, yeah. So, and then we'll go again like this. I think this is my favorite actually. And we'll fit like this. So this will have to be painted, probably black. So we'll prepare this over the weekend, and this will be one of the first detailing part for the TRX4. But we're also working on a new snorkel as well, so that will be perhaps ready next week. So it'll be a snorkel unit with a few different attachments, so different type of cosmetics. Quite a few new products coming here.
Yep. Definitely going to make everything look a bit smarter, a bit more customized.
Absolutely.
A bit meaner.
So if you have any ideas on what else we can do for the cars, for the TRX4 or any other car for a matter of fact, let us know, because we can adapt those to fit different body shells. So that one is for the Landrover, but we can do one for perhaps different type of car as well. Same for the snorkel and so forth. So some of those. What else we have? We are developing some figures as well. We've got some bits and pieces here. So these will end up in a kit form, and it'll have to be assembled like a kit mostly. So that's something that is work in progress, a little bit of work to go. But this lady will end up prepped with a sword, this kind.
Yep, definitely looking forward to this.
So this is going to be a very interesting one. So hopefully we can show you this one in the next maybe 2 or so weeks. A lot of work that goes into designing one of these larger figures actually.
That's great.
Okay, let's see if we've got a few questions, suggestions here.
Yeah, there's a few there. So what we got there? So we had some guesses on the car, which were a bit earlier on, which I think are pretty good. XR Falcon.
Yeah, I think we're getting pretty close. Shall we pass it by
Derek
again?
and Jason have picked the XR Falcon, and Tony is Tony got the XY, so it's
just
a bit different.
Just a bit different.
Yep.
So it's definitely.
There you go. So that's an XR.
Yeah. specific model of the XR, and obviously the color. We still need to guess the color as well.
Yep. So very specific name for this color.
Absolutely. So a few more suggestions. Steve is asking for cows. Yes, we have a couple of cows. Coming tigers. I think you actually have a tiger as well.
We do.
What else?
Kangaroos would be.
Yeah.
That's something we should do. For
Absolutely.
sure.
Kangaroo, so we should add that one to the list. We have a dog, wolves, so a bit of a range there.
Yep. So Ian's asking about this body behind me, but I'll show you that later.
That will come soon.
Yep.
We're also gonna look into 1/32 scale figures and accessory for slot cars. A few people have been asking, so that will go into the list for the next few weeks. So slot car accessories, definitely people and figures. That will be pretty much the same that we have in the generic HR set. We can produce that one in 32nd scale as well.
Yep, for sure.
Yes, definitely. So 72nd ruler scene, so that will definitely be a good one.
And the copies. Yeah, very Australian.
Absolutely. Let me see. Got a bucket here. This could go well actually on your rural scene. Let me see if you can actually see it.
Oh yeah, you have to have a bucket.
So that still needs some finishing. It's a little bit thin. So we are gonna have to redesign this one, but the detail is quite nice also. You can see here. It's a bit of a groove as well. So we'll have some buckets as well. And pigs. Yeah, true, pigs. Pigs would be a good one.
Oh yes, for 35th. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely pigs. And what's new in 72nd? What did we do in 72nd? We listed a few. I think the crates are in 72nd as well, PJ, from memory.
The crates, yes. The crates will be in 72nd. Yep, so we've got shells, crates. The figures would be quite easy to do in 72nd if you're looking for some modern civilians. I guess we'll work on some more specifics. We've got some luggage that we had as well.
Yes.
Suitcases. So there's a pack of 40 suitcases. Like, they're tiny, but they'll look fantastic on a layout on the station, sort of stacked along each other.
Yep.
There's a few things going in the works and planning.
Absolutely. I'm just finding here the hand of our Tucano figure. That's, let me see if you can see. Yeah, here we go. That's very fine. So, luggage.
So Shane's asking if we've got any new slot cars, and we got some new Scalextrics slot cars in.
Yes, actually, we forgot them tonight. We'll have them next week. But there's definitely 6 or 8 new Scalextrics that came in just yesterday.
Yep. There's a lot of Fords. There's a Ford Escort, GT40, GTE. There's a Ferrari P, one of the Ps. Can't remember which one it is. What else was there? There was a Barracuda looking thing.
Yes.
An Austin Mini.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the name? Actually, I want a photo here. Which are probably old.
I don't think I've seen them. I know they've come in, but I don't think I've actually managed to see them yet. So will be a job for next week. We definitely should bring some across next week because they are quite nice. I've seen the photos.
Okay, what about here? Oh yeah, there's a Mustang GT4, Lotus Cortina, the Holden A9X. So the Ferrari's a 412P, and it's a Mercury Cougar that I was thinking. So we might just be able to see something like that. Okay, so you get your Oscar Mini, you get your Mercury, that's the Escort. Am I moving the right way? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so that's your Mustang GT4, that's your Cortina,
Yep.
A9X.
And the Tirana.
And then you got your GTE, your GT40, and your, what was it again? 312P, was it?
312P, yeah.
Oh, 412P.
412.
So yeah, so they're all new at the moment.
Just in now.
Yep.
Very good.
Okay. So, well, we've got a lot of questions going on today, which is great.
Absolutely. So, Bruce is asking for jet black. Not sure about
Jet
that
black? No, it's not pure black.
The car,
It's a
sorry.
different colour. Might as well pop it up again.
Let me see. I don't know if my screen is too dark. I can try to brighten up a bit. Let me Let me change my setting quickly, guys. Open this now. Right, let's see if it's any better now. I think it's better now.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Ivy green.
Oh dear. That was
That's
easy by the look of it.
enough.
As soon as I fixed the camera, we got it green. Well done, Ian. Fast. Yes, very fast. So, indeed, it's Vicon XR in ivy green.
Yes.
There we go.
Do we know what year it is?
I don't. Well, I'm sure someone will know.
No, I don't either.
Let's see if anyone can tell us the year of this car. So, moving forward. So, we started a competition last week. And it's a really good, fine competition. Looks really, really healthy. Lots of entries already. So
Definitely, it's been very popular.
absolutely. So, big difference. So, that's the first RC related competition. It's still very much linked to modeling and painting, but this has to do with body shells. So,
That's right.
it's a painting competition for RC car body shells, and really we want you guys to paint this and have fun first of all, and share the hobby, share the experience. So we want you to submit some work in progress photos so we see what you've done.
Yep, definitely.
And yeah, Vijay's got a very nice one behind there as well to show us.
Yeah, so this is a bit of a special one. So
Absolutely.
this one's one of Nicholas Lee's bodies.
Yes.
So Nicholas Lee is a Yokomo driver, and he's from Singapore. So he was visiting Melbourne for the AOC race. What was this? Was this last year?
Last year, I think. 2 years ago, perhaps.
Okay.
And
So you can see this is actually all hand painted, even though it can look like decals. So it's very nice. You might be able to see a bit more detail here. So this green here is actually a metallic green, and then it's transitioned into this chrome paint. You've got this faded orange flame type finish, and then you've got this patterned candy green in at the back. And so you've got that all carried over throughout the sides. And then the front's quite special because the headlights here, these are all fully painted. It's quite incredible. And then you've got these are painted here, as well as the front grille fully painted, and the rear lights. Now, anyone who's gone racing before, you know that it's almost impossible to not crash into things. And if you just use stickers on your headlights here, they often get scratched and it all comes off. So with this all painted on, don't have any worries, it always looks a schmick. And so you can see this has already gone through a really big race meeting, and it's in very good condition.
absolutely. Also, the windows are tinted, so they're
Yes, so
that
it's
kind of
green.
transparent green, clear green, which is quite nice. You can see inside.
Good idea from inside.
You can see the black tabs on the bonnet there, underneath the bonnet. There are to limit the deflection of the body, so at high speed, the front of the body can deflect a little bit, which means that it's going to open the front, get a gap between the asphalt and the front, and get air underneath the chassis, which could get the car to flip over. So we want to prevent that, so they put these tabs to prevent that kind of deflection.
Yep. So there's a bit of firm foam.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this will start flapping like this.
And on the inside as well. So what's happening with the lightweight bodies they're producing now, there's not much support in some of these areas, so that's what we have to do.
So paintwork like this would have been done with liquid mask.
Absolutely. So let me see. I thought I had one here. Yes. So let's talk about how to produce a body. So that's probably a good starting point. This is a good way to mask your body, unless you go for more traditional Tamiya masking tape. Now this is quite a big one, but they do some very fine one, like 1mm all the way up to, I think this is 40mm, and you can produce some really fine lines. But liquid masking is something you can apply with a paintbrush or with an airbrush. I use something like that to spray this one. I think it's a millimeter nozzle, but I know that Brad managed to use our 0.3mm 9-step airbrush and spray some good liquid masking as well. So
just need a bit higher pressure.
Absolutely, slightly higher pressure. And so you don't need to buy anything particular unless you've got something like that. That's quite handy to spray your BT Design liquid masking. So that's a really good starting point, specifically when I do something so detailed like Nicholas Lee body. Painting, yeah, Warwick is suggesting that we paint upside down, inside out. So yes, very different than painting figures. So obviously body shells are transparent, so you paint them on the inside if they are Lexan, and so you need to plan your colors quite well, isn't it, BJ?
Yep. So you generally try to start with your darkest colors first, because if you start with your lightest colors, so for instance, if you started with white first, when you went to the black will show through the white. So it won't do if you do it the other way around.
Lots of planning required. Obviously, what else we have? We have these BT Design stencils. So these do come quite useful when you want to do some special effect like carbon fiber effect or some shading and so forth. These are beautiful. They just came in recently, and they've got quite lots of different patterns. The
They're
one
really
you have there,
flexible.
which is quite nice. Yes, it's round dots.
So there's vinyl, very thin vinyl.
Absolutely. So this is quite nice. It's like an electronic circuit. So all you do, you put it over your body and then you spray over it, and you use this one to create some, depending how much you want to spray and what effect you want to achieve. You can give some nice effect of shading and more or less pronounced. There we go, different shapes. So you can make something quite creative. Got a similar one to yours here. Got a few different patterns.
Yeah.
And there we go. So this could work really well if you don't want to do too much masking. You can use those ones to create some different patterns, even say very light color, and then you can back it with a darker color, and they will come up. You can use some perhaps silver, and then you back it with white or so, and will come up that kind of silvery kind of color, nice effect. So that's a good way to simplify your paint work if you don't want to do all the masking. That's often quite time consuming. How many have you done, BJ?
How many bodies?
Yes.
I've done a lot. Actually, I'm going to show you a car with a body I painted maybe 15, 20 years ago as well.
That's very helpful what you have in your hand there.
Yep. So I thought I'd show you this stuff. It's a body armor made by Deluxe from the UK. So the idea behind this stuff is it's a clear, really thick material, and when it dries, it's flexible. So you add it to certain areas of the body which are going to flex a lot, and it makes it tougher. So it reinforces it. So you just squeeze it out of the tube. Comes out like a really, really thick toothpaste. It's got almost an epoxy sort of feel to it. And then you just spread it inside. And once it sets up, it'll be flexible. Feel a bit like a vinyl. So it'll be more resilient than tape, because some people use tape to hold the bodies together on the inside. And if you get it somewhere you don't want it, while it's wet, you can still clean it up with a bit of white spirit. So it's very easy to use too. See what you're saying.
Very, very useful. If you have a crack, you stop it straight away with this.
Yep.
And you can carry on using your body for a little bit longer. Very, very helpful.
So very handy, especially if you're going racing on very tight tracks. I guess one of the tight tracks in Melbourne would be Baronia, where there's a lot of balls we can hit and things. So this is a must-have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So also when you paint body shells, if they're Lexan, which is probably the most traditional stuff, you use a specific paint, which is a Lexan paint. Moss is a more flexible paint, so Tamiya has the PS range, which is different from the TS range, which is what you use for your models. The main difference is the fact that this is more flexible, so they do have the PS range for polycarbonate. They have a flexing agent, which helps them to effectively stick better to your body, and once you have some deflections, deformation, they don't crack off. So very important to use the correct PS paint. Now, if you're airbrushing, Vallejo has a really good product that's suitable for airbrushing as well, which is quite nice. And otherwise, if you want to attempt to use the traditional TS paint, because they have a much better range, I've tried to use it in combination with a clear paint. So what I've done, and worked out quite well actually, with my crawler, you spray the clear polycarbonate paint, and you put your TS paint in between, and then you back it again with a clear polycarbonate paint, so creating this kind of sandwich of Lexan paint and non-Lexan paint works reasonably well. Obviously it's going to come quite a bit thicker, but if you want to try to use this fancy pink that you may not find in the PS range, that's an option as well. So if you try, be aware they may not work out too well, but it's worked out quite well on this body here. So this has been done with a PS paint, sandwich over two layers of PS paint, and as you can see, it's going quite well.
Yeah, it's very resilient.
Absolutely.
Because I guess if you used the TS by itself, it would have all cracked off by now.
It has indeed. Let me see if I should actually. I've tried that. It was an experiment, as you see inside here. On the inside, I painted with a TS paint, and it's peeling off. And then I've done on the outside with a sandwich kind of version of this, as you can see here, perhaps is all peeling off on the inside. So on the outside, we've used the sandwich kind of method and worked quite well. Still going well.
Good stuff. That's a good trick.
So paints are really important. Okay, so what do we have next? Do we have any question on body shells? Let me see, what else do we have? So going back to the competition. So what are the requirements, Pitch? What are the rules of the competition?
Okay, so the competition is quite easy to enter. So just go over to our Facebook page, go to the event section, select the competition for body painting, and then you'll find a little, so the first part will have all the rules and how we judge your entries. So you'll need to paint the body yourself. For extra points, add in all the work in progress photos, so we know how you've done it and other people can learn how you've done it. And then we'll judge it, and that's pretty much it. So obviously the more people that enter, the higher the prize pool is going to be. So every entry we get is $5 added towards the prize pool, and then that'll be split up between first, second, and third. So what we've got one more week until end of the competition. I think we've had quite a few entries put in today. I think we're up to maybe 16 entries, and that's growing. So it's growing pretty quick.
Looks like one of the most successful competitions so far, or the largest competition. Halfway through, we are at 16. So let's see if we get other 16 by the end of next week. It'll be really good.
Yep.
And I quite like the fact that there's quite a bit of a range. There's a couple of crawlers, a couple of race buggies, a race truck, which is unusual. Actually, we haven't seen too many around, which is really good to see.
No, that's it. It's good.
Lots of different things.
Yeah. So even if you don't want to enter, just go over there and have a look at some of the work that people have done.
It's brilliant.
It's quite amazing and what's the word I'm looking for? Inspirational.
Yes, absolutely. So very good. So let's change topic. We've done lots of RC, so let's talk about plastic kit. We received a few plastic kits this week, something a bit different. What have you got there, Vijay?
We've got a few armor type kits, so armor being military vehicles, and we've got some top-ups from Das Werk, TACOM, and also Amusing Hobby. So I'll pick one out of the range, which I thought was really interesting because it's got an interesting history behind it. I've just got it behind me here. So it's the Ferdinand Porsche prototype Tiger. So let's see if I can get the lighting a bit better without too much reflection. Okay like that?
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Got a bit of a light in the middle there, but we can still see it.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Let's so I'll get this about. Yeah, so that's meant to be a picture of Ferdinand Porsche, I think. So the idea was the Germans wanted a heavy tank, and a tender was put out to design one. The turret itself was already designed by Krupp, who designs most of the guns, and so that was common. And it was between Porsche and Henschel to design the hull. So Porsche decided, I'm going to do something really different. I'm going to design a submarine type system where it's got petrol engines inside, which powered up generators, which drove electric motors to each wheel. So basically this thing has got 2 engines in the back, it's got 2 massive generators in the middle made by Siemens, and then 2 motors, electric motors that drive the wheels. And so he was probably ahead of his time because they weren't very reliable. And so hence the Henschel one's one, and they produced a Tiger one. Okay, so you can recognise that as being a Tiger one turret. And the thing is, Porsche was so confident that he had a whole heap of these chassis built, which ended up being useless until later on they decided, well, we can use those, let's remake them, and we'll call it the Elephant. So you see that the Elephant's got they built this hull structure at the back, and then they had the bigger 88mm gun in the front, and they used those during the Eastern campaign in Russia. They did have one of these that was being used in Russia, and that was in 1944, but unfortunately it was lost after a few months. So let's have a quick look inside and see all the details. Okay, so let's open this up. So Amusing Hobby has an Elephant kit as well, which is the full interior, which is a massive undertaking. So this one's a bit simpler. No interior detail, but it still looks fantastic on the outside. So let's start off with this bit. So you got your turret. So you've got the sides here, and you've got your top there. So being separate items, you're able to get cleaner details. And then you've got a bit of the breech of the gun as well. And then you've got opening hatches and such. Part there. This part here, as you can see, all these sprue, these are all the same because these are all for your individual track links, and these are your working track links. So the two pieces are glued together, and then they've got the hinge, and they'll work after you finish it all. To help you build them, they've got a little jig there. Now, it's handy that these work because this kit also has working suspension. So we'll get to that stage soon. So you've got another couple of sprue which are exactly the same. So these are a standard toolkit which was found on German tanks. So it's got the jack and axes and tow hooks and such. We'll get into, okay, so there's a basic hull here. We've got some details on the bottom there. Okay, so this part here is all the main parts. You've got the fenders, which are quite interesting on this particular tank. See how they loop up around here to the top of the hull. So this section here had the engines, so you got the grille, and then this section had the turret. So this was a bit different in that the turret was forward facing, whereas on the other, the production Tiger one is actually in the center, which is a bit more of a traditional look. And then here you got two sprue again, which are identical. Okay, so this is the working suspension, and it includes some springs. Okay, so you got the springs here. They help make the, I don't know, what do you call this sort of suspension? Is like sort of rolling bogey type of thing, I guess you call it. Okay, so you got that. And then there's a bit of copper wire for your tow cables, which is really nice. So it gives that a more scale look. I guess you sort of expect to get a bit of photo etch in all these kits these days, so you don't have to buy anything extra. You've got these photo etched grills to go over the engine covers. And a nice little plus is there's Mr. Porsche there in his overcoat. So there's a little resin figure that's included. So you have that next to the wonderful future tank that he designed that wasn't quite right for the time. And then you've got a really nice manual here. So you've got a few different color schemes. So a lot of these color schemes, I guess, are what do you call what ifs, I guess, because they don't really know what camouflage pattern they would have had on that one tank. So I guess you can choose whatever you like. So there's a German grey version, or the camouflage versions. And then you've got your manuals, which are quite straightforward, step by step. And then, of course, you've got a sheet of decals, a generic set, so you can put whatever number you like on it. These are the German crosses. So that's the Amusing Hobby prototype Porsche Tiger. And it's quite a nice kit. So I'm quite impressed with using kits. I'm building one for my diorama for next year as well. I'm doing the Panther 2. And I'm going to be incorporating a few Hearns Workshop bits and pieces in that as well. So that's going to be good.
Very nice kit. Very good. So I think we have a few comments on the day car actually, going backwards a little bit.
Oh, like the year?
Yeah, it looks like it's 68 or 67. That's, I think, is one of the two. Let me see if they actually say which one is this one here. Just looking at the certificate of authenticity.
A 305.
So number 305 of 500. So that's a limited edition. Let me see if they actually say. Well, so it's 1967. If you can read, that says so.
Right, there you go.
Here we go. Well
it
done,
is.
the Jason and Cone. Very well done. Phil and Rob, very close, very close. So this car is obviously 1/18 scale again. We show a few times from Classic Collectibles. It's got, you can open the, I think you can open the bonnet on this one. And they also have a very nice detail on the engine here. Engine bay is very nicely detailed. Doors are, you can open the doors. Let's show you on this side. So you can see the driver's side. Okay, the doors got all the, so your dashboard there. See if you can focus a bit.
Another feature about this model that a lot of people don't know about, which I didn't know about until recently, is the radio antenna actually pulls out and retracts.
Let me see if we can do it. Yep. Carefully.
So I think that's
There
quite
you go.
clever how they've done that.
There we go. It's got an antenna. We haven't seen a retractable radio antenna for a few years now. And here you put. There you go. Very nicely made model actually. It's quite nice. So, Classic Collectible. 1967 Ford. There we go. So, what do we have next? Got talking about RC cars again, and
Yep.
we're talking about the Velodrome event. So,
Yes. So I've actually got a big buggy here as well, but with Velodrome, I've got this old car here. Just grab it.
Phil, yes, that's a good idea. Maybe we should get Hearns Workshop to produce a coat hanger, and we can add it to the car. Actually, that'd be a good one.
So this is a body I painted some years ago. So it started off as a standard touring car body, and then it got reused as they get old. You don't want to use a really fresh body for Velodrome if you like, because you're guaranteed to maybe hit something. So this car is actually made up of spare parts, and was built by Adam Truan. As I take the top off, you get to see that it's quite different. Okay, so this one's been built up of 1 scale touring car parts, and all these components came from an associated TC3. So you've got the rear gearbox, which has been put into the front, so that's the front end of it. You've got the steering servo mounted on the front bumper. It's gone straight through a servo saver there, and then straight out to some tie rods. This is a custom 2mm carbon fibre chassis, and then a laser cut top deck. Then it holds onto an empty gearbox housing on the back, because this is only front wheel drive. The idea behind front wheel drive is it makes it a bit more stable because it's actually pulling it along. Less chances of the back coming out, I guess. And then there's a ground effects tunnel built here. So the airflow should come out here smooth and then go up here, creating your downforce. And the other idea is because it's wide and the same width as the body actually rests on this and stays more stable, because you'll expect this to be, I guess in a day, it would have been doing over 100 Ks. So it would have been doing maybe 110, 120 kilometers an hour on the Velodrome.
Wow. So,
Yeah, so that's something a bit special.
did you take this one to the Velodrome?
Don't know if should we take it there? I don't know if I'll run it because it's got a bit of history behind this one.
Absolutely.
It's amazing that it's still in one piece.
Is that a Dodge
Sorry.
Avenger body? Is that a Dodge body?
Yep. Sorry?
Is that the Dodge body? Dodge Avenger?
Oh, it would have been. Everybody was using Dodges back then. No. Is it Dodge? Was that a Mazda 6?
Mazda 6, perhaps?
Mazda 6, probably.
Perhaps is the Mazda 6.
Yeah. So it's just been cut down a bit too to make it lower.
Yeah.
It's probably had about 5mm trimmed off that. And the rear end's been opened out so it doesn't pick up any of the air, and you see the rear wing's been totally cut. So it's only got the side wings there for stability. Just cut back on the drag.
Beautiful. So
Tony says it's a Stratos. Yeah, he could be. I don't know. He's going back sometime. No, Tony's probably right.
Right, so
Yeah.
who is ready for the velodrome event. So we can't wait for that. So the velodrome event should possibly happen in January at some point.
Yep.
And it means that we all go at the velodrome up in where is it? Is it in Coburg? Yeah, Coburg. Yeah, and we'll go around as fast as we can. So we're all preparing cars, and we have a couple of 1.8 GT being prepared as well. There's some minis with paint cars, body shells, all kind of different options. So let me see if let us know what you're preparing. So last week we showed you the 1.8 GT from Hot Bodies, the GTE, and today we are actually showing you the same car but in an off-road version. So this is the Hot Bodies. Let me change the screen actually so you guys can see it properly. Here we go. So that's the 1.8 E819 RS, so race buggy. The beauty of this is it's pretty much the same car that we showed you last week with taller shock tower, longer shocks, and slightly different wheels. So it's very easy if you have a buggy to convert it to a GT car to go faster on the oval.
You put one of these on the velodrome and go really well.
I think it will. So we're going to try to put together a small package to try to convert this one onto a GT as well. The GT will have a different body, so we'll need different body posts. Otherwise, it's virtually identical. So this still doesn't have any electronics in it, but you'll see big diff in the middle there towards the back.
Yep,
drive shaft.
Yep.
So you have a
So
bracing.
center diff, you got your lightweight aluminium drive shaft down the front. You got a short steel drive shaft down the back.
Yeah.
You got your rear diff, front diff.
All the shock
yeah.
system, the sway
Yeah.
bars.
You've got really nicely designed arms. You see how smooth they are.
And the best part of this arm, you can actually put a carbon insert to make them stiffer so that they are quite tunable. So there is a plastic insert that comes with them, but you can replace and put a carbon one instead, which is quite a nice addition. The same for the back end. You can put the carbon insert on the arm. As you can see, there's quite a bit of geometry you can change on the arms to adapt it to different race conditions.
Yep, so there's a whole heap of adjustment holes there.
Camber links.
Also the shock angles.
Yeah.
Here too.
So for the velodrome, we'll have to put a much bigger sway bar. You can see there is a sway bar there. So we'll put a 3mm sway bar compared to the 2.4, 2.6mm there. Same at the front. And obviously GT tires. But the chassis will be identical. So if you have a 1.8 buggy, definitely consider to take it to the velodrome. Will be perfect. I think they will generate a very good grip.
Yeah, they go around really well, I think.
Absolutely.
With a bit of suspension, it would definitely help.
Yes, definitely. Because the velodrome is a bit rougher here.
It does have a few cracks here and there. And it has shifted a little bit, so.
So that's yes. So that's the car that we're preparing for the velodrome. So we're also trying to get a 1.8 GT class happening around Victoria. It's a good fun class. So we're looking at getting a few of us racing 1.8 GT in the next future once we can go back racing. So we'll have another delivery of the Hot Bodies GT very, very soon. And we've been talking to a few clubs to see if they are interested in running the class. We sold a few already, so there's a few of us with them. It'll be very good fun. And that's another body from BT Design, specifically pre-cut for this electric buggy. This is called Vision, and yeah, they come pre-cut for both electric and nitro as well.
Makes it a lot easier when it's pre-cut.
Absolutely. So you can just get a couple of the stencil that we were looking at before, spray those, and then put some white backing or different color backing, and you're done. So in a few minutes you can go up and racing. No need to cut or whatsoever. Very good. So I think this is probably the last topic for tonight. Do we have anything else, BJ, there? I think.
Anything else? I pretty much
think we are towards the end. So let's see if you have any questions. I think. Derek has a question. Sorry. Yes, I've seen that one in relation to
124 scale rear boxings.
Yes, I'm not sure about that one. I don't think there is any. I wasn't aware of that one coming very soon. Not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't heard much about reboxing in the 24 scale, so I'm guessing the 24 scale you mean the aircraft. So they've had the Hellcat, and actually the Hellcats haven't been all that easy to get hold of at the moment.
No.
I'm guessing Spitfires, Hurricane, Stuka, Messerschmitt, any of those, I guess, may be available in the future, but really not too sure at this stage.
Definitely.
Yeah, restrictions on Sunday. Yeah, hopefully.
We hope so. So, is this Jason's asking the underside? So there is a good level of detail. Hopefully, you can see that quite
They've got all
well.
the bolt pivot type detail there as well.
Yeah. Let me see if you can see that one. See. There we go.
Oh, the Bentley. Yeah, Phil. So the Bentley, I think, is being re-released in 112 scale. I'm not too sure exactly when it's going to turn up yet, but they announced that quite a number of months ago.
Sorry, I couldn't see properly before. You go. So
Okay, so the 109 is expected to be a release. Spitfire and Hurricane. Okay, we just have to wait and see with those because we don't really have much information. Try and find out next week.
So I think there is obviously, as we know, there's a bit of a delay in manufacturing, specifically those companies that have been manufacturing in Asia. Obviously, there is definitely a delay. I think Airfix is made in India from memory. Is that correct, BJ?
I think so these days, yes.
Yeah, so India is still going through some probably lockdowns or whatsoever, so there's probably some delays. But we actually received a bit of restock of Airfix this week. I think there's a few of the vintage series.
Yeah, so there was a couple of what were they? They were commercial airliners.
Yes.
From the 50s and 60s. I can't remember
That's
what they are. But yeah, we had a few little things pop up.
Which is good. So that means they start producing something again. So I'm pretty sure before Christmas we may see another one or two deliveries with perhaps some reboxing or some new releases.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good. What else we have here? I think this week was really busy with the Hornet. I think that's one of the good projects to turn the Hornet into a crazy. That could be a good project to put different wheels to make it very interesting. Let me see if I have it again here. We'll put it here. Here we go. Those they come in late. We have this wheel adapters for the Hornet, which enable us to fit different type of wheels, like sun pedals, like this. Be good. I think this would definitely be a winner. Cool.
So you probably know I've been working on this Thunder model Indian bike here. So I've just been modifying the Dragon figure to fit on for the diorama. I've just done a bit of chopping, so you see there's a big gap in his arm at the moment. But just playing around with the pose, and hopefully if I get it sort of there, gives you an idea of just sitting on the bike, just having a chat. So that'll be filled up with some putty. I'll re-sculpt a little bit of it. Put a few extra things on the bike. The bike's all missing rear mudguard and a few other things. But that's come along really well.
That's nice. Impressive.
A lot of parts in this bike.
The spokes as well.
It's hinged out as well. Yeah, it's cool. But that's just going to be a little feature. So there's going to be a Panther 2 in there. And then also a Mercedes-Benz truck. About 14 figures in total.
Wow. Big project. Very good. Okay,
yes.
Then. So if there's no more questions, I think we're going to end it here tonight. So episode number 11 of this Hearns at Home. Hopefully there's no more next week, but if lockdown carries on, we'll be here again at the same time next week again. And we'll bring some probably some of this Galaxy car actually, which we didn't have today. So
we should do
Galaxy. Maybe some of the Reebox Airfix or something else that may come in the meantime. So make sure you follow us through the week on our social media. Ask any question or comment, and we'll bring it for you next week.
Yep, definitely. So thanks again for coming in and watching us.
Absolutely.
From whichever part of the world you're seeing us and interacting, and hopefully you're enjoying what we have to say.
Absolutely, and let us know what you would like to see. If you like different format, different products, let us know. We are very happy to adapt to what you may want to see.
Yep, definitely, and keep on letting us know what you'd like to see from Hearns Workshop, because we definitely like all the
suggestions,
feedback, and also ideas on which way we should head.
Absolutely. So very good. So you have a good weekend, and we shall see you in a week. Same time, same place. Hopefully from the shop. Otherwise, we'll be again from home.
Yep. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Thanks. See you later.